We saw it in the 1980s in Nigeria when thousands were told to leave, pack their lives in bags and go home. We've seen it over and over again in South Africa, where immigrants are being harassed, attacked, and blamed. And now we're seeing versions of it happening in the United States. With stricter immigration crackdowns, rising tension and fear even among those who are there legally. Different countries, different times, but the message is the same. Go back and fix your country. So the question is, why does this keep happening? And more importantly, what does it mean to you? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Madam Chomzi. I talk about relocation, living in Nigeria, and the realities that people don't always tell you. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I would like you to consider subscribing. Also like and share my videos and click on the notification bell so that you receive notification anytime I upload a new video. I would like to say a massive thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate your support. Today's video, this is not just about relocation, but about something deeper. Because what we're seeing right now across the world is a shift. A shift towards nationalism, a shift towards division, a shift towards our people first thinking. And in the middle of all this, I keep coming back to one message. You need to have options. Let's break this down, because what's happening right now is not random. In South Africa, we've seen repeated waves of xenophobic attacks. Foreign nationals, many of them which are Africans, being blamed for unemployment, crime, and economic hardship. And once that narrative starts, it spreads quickly. Because it's simple, it gives people someone else to blame. But South Africa is not alone. We've seen this pattern right across the world, and history proves it. Let's come home for a moment, because as Nigerians, we have seen this in the past. Back in 1983, under President Segun Shagari, Nigeria carried out a mass expulsion of immigrants, many of which were Ghanaians. Over 1 million people were forced to leave. People who had jobs, families, lives in Nigeria, and suddenly they were told to go. To leave everything behind, to carry all what they could in those now famous bags we still call today, Ghana must go. And why did this happen? Because of the same reasons we hear today. They're taking our jobs, they're part of the problems, they should go back home. So when we speak of xenophobia today, let's be honest, we've done it too. Now let's zoom out, because this is not just Africa. Even in the United States, we are seeing stricter immigration enforcement, with agencies like the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement, which we know as ICE. They're carrying out raids and deportations. And again, let's be balanced. Illegal immigration is a real issue. Every country has the right to protect its borders. But here is where it becomes very concerning. When the environment becomes so tense that even the legal immigrants or well-documented immigrants start to feel unsafe. That's when it goes beyond policies and start becoming something deeper, something emotional, something societal. We are living in a time where countries are becoming more protective. Did you hear me? Countries are becoming more protective, more focused on our people first. So it's not just Trump. This is a trend, a global trend. And again, on the surface, that's not wrong, but there's a line. And that line is crossed when outsiders or foreigners are being dehumanized. Violence is justified and identity becomes a weapon. Because today is go back to your country, tomorrow it becomes something much worse. Let's talk about that statement, go back to your country. It sounds simple, but in reality, it's not. It's not simple. People live for reasons like opportunities, survival, instability, safety. And here's the irony. Many of these countries saying immigrants should go back home, they rely on immigrants. They depend on immigrants. They depend on healthcare workers, social care workers, and skilled professionals from foreign countries. People contributing every single day and also paying their taxes. So the issue is not as straightforward as it sounds. This is why this conversation matters, because if we do not learn from history, we repeat it. And right now, the signs are clear. Increasing nationalism, stricter immigration policies, increasing division. And when the everyday people start acting on this mindset, that's when things escalate. This is why I keep saying have options, not because you do not love your country, but because the world is changing. You cannot afford to rely on one country, one system, one identity, because things can change quickly. And when they do, you need flexibility, you need security, you need dignity. At this point, I would like to ask a question to people that live in diaspora that you hear that tell you they don't want to come back to Nigeria. My question is, if you receive the kind of treatment that I saw on videos in South Africa, my question, where people were being beaten and really, really humiliated, and you have kids and your kids have to go through that, or live in fear of that. I want to ask you a question. So you sit there and say you don't want to go back to home because Nigeria is so bad. So these are the things that we need to start thinking, because people can wake up one morning and tell you to leave their country. See what's happening in South Africa. These are not government agencies. These are just ordinary civilians going about harassing people, and nothing is, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything happening to them, or the government calling them to order, arresting people. I've not seen. So if you people will see, give me video. But someone being beaten up in the streets and people constantly harassed, I don't think that's life. So what you have to think is that, don't say it cannot get to that point where you live. It can. It can. So this is why I say you need options. We all have our countries where you know nobody's going to harass you and tell you to leave Nigeria. So how does it make sense for you to say you don't want to come back home? I'm not saying come back and live full time, but you don't want to invest in Nigeria or do anything, build anything in Nigeria. I just think it's not wise. The times that we live in, I keep saying, they're very unpredictable. And finally, my message to us Africans: we cannot demand respect globally and turn around and disrespect each other. It doesn't make sense. They're not going to respect us when we don't respect each other. We've been on both sides of the story, and what it means is that we have the responsibility to do things better. So you cannot go about crying racism, while you are not even treating your fellow African in a way that respects their dignity as human beings. I don't understand. So most people come and they say, I don't want to. Okay, you understand me? That's not right. So you cannot go about saying people are racist when you yourself, you can't even stand. You cannot treat your fellow African as a human being. So I'll leave you with this. If the world is becoming more divided, where do you stand? And more importantly, are you prepared? Please, I would like to know your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.